to the news at 10. Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Makwe Ogun. Makwe.
Hello and thank you, Ijoma. Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State has emerged the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, in the November 18 governorship election, which will hold this year. Governor Obiano was picked at a special congress of the party, which was attended by all the ward delegates of the party. Governor Obiano was the sole aspirant in the race.
That APGA anthem heralds the commencement of the All Progressives Grand Alliance gubernatorial primary election in Awka, Anambra State, southeast Nigeria. Present at the event, which was held at the Dora Akunyele Women Development Center, are the party's national and state executive members, civil society organizations, party faithful, as well as representatives from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, who are here to witness the exercise. Without much ado, the secretary of the electoral panel explains the process of voting to delegates.
The procedure we are using for the voting is called Modified Secret Ballot System. When you file out, you place your thumb on the ink pad and indicate yes on the ballot paper. And you fold the ballot paper and drop in your local government.
With that out of the way, delegates from the 326 wards of the state line up to cast their ballots. After the casting of ballots, then comes the counting of votes.
2, 3, 4.
And at the end of the exercise, which lasted over 4 hours, the result is announced.
I, Alaisan Abdullah Shinkapi, hereby declare His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano as duly elected, nominated candidate of the party for November 18 governorship election in Anambra State.
In his acceptance speech, an elated Governor Willie Obiano says the confidence reposed in him by his party men will spur him to do more.
I pledge to you in my unwavering devotion in bringing greater prosperity and development to Anambra and APGA. I shall continue to make you proud and glad for making me your choice, as I have done since my election and inauguration of my first term on March the 17th, 2014. I will do what I know how to do best.
The delegates here have spoken in no uncertain terms. The choice of who governs Anambra State for the next 4 years now lies with the electorate in the state, and they will make that choice come November 18th.
Now, from the southeast to the northwestern part of the country, at least one person has been injured in a rowdy session at the Sokoto State House of Assembly. The lawmakers engaged in a free-for-all in an attempt to remove the Speaker, Honorable Salihu Meidaji. According to the leader of the House, Honorable Garba Yabo, the crisis started when the House moved to remove the deputy leader for violating the rules of the House.
A normal day, it seems, at the Sokoto State House of Assembly as the chambers open for today's plenary. One after the other, the state lawmakers are searched as they make their way into the chamber. However, journalists were turned back from covering the proceedings. The arrival of the Speaker signals the beginning of the day's activities, but it does appear trouble looms. Despite being barred, journalists were able to view the rowdy session within the chamber. At least one person is said to have been injured in the brawl. During the encounter, the House removed the deputy House leader for violating the House rule.
What happened was, one of us, who happened to be the deputy leader, who happened to be my deputy, led some of members of the Sokoto Assembly to a meeting with an aspirant. And that we considered was against our rules regarding the functions of the House. And we quoted that rule. If you had seen our letter, we quoted that rule, and we saw that that was unethical as far as the House is concerned. So we found what he did as unbecoming of a member.
But the impeached deputy leader insists that the Speaker has questions to answer.
We have so many allegations against him. He's the most corrupt person. He has been given money to go to Pakistan, and he spent money without taking the travel to Pakistan without journey. About $3 million. He took $3 million for his own personal errand, including his aide, almost $10 million, including other members. We are going to make it as a press counter. He make a post asset. He has so many houses at Gusau and the Kaduna, elected so many personal projects. Where did he get that money from? We know how we elected him without single quibble. And he defrauded the assembly without, because we don't have clerk. Whatever, any meeting of honorable leaders is being held. He's spending money without approval of the honorable leaders, which is against the House rules, is against the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria.
Amidst the commotion, the Speaker is then whisked away by security operatives. Meanwhile, the state lawmakers announced Alhaji Ibrahim Saraki as the new deputy leader of the House.
Meanwhile, calm has returned to the Edo State House of Assembly after yesterday's sit-in, which saw the impeachment of Justin Okonobo as Speaker and Elizabeth Ativie as Deputy Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly. At the resumed sit-in of the House on Tuesday morning, Kabiru Ajoto took his seat as Speaker of the House with 16 other members in attendance. The former Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and other members suspended were absent from the sit-in, despite announcing a counter-suspension yesterday.
Calm has returned to Edo State House of Assembly following the rowdy session that saw the impeachment of the former Speaker of the House, Justin Okonobo, who hails from Edo Central Senatorial District. The emergence of Kabiru Ajoto as Speaker on Monday changes the gentleman's arrangement of the Sixth Assembly that reserved the seat of the Speaker of the House to Edo Central Senatorial District. Kabiru Ajoto takes the red chair for the second day amidst apprehension from observers that there may be a change in the leadership of the House in this sitting, as was witnessed a few months ago when Elizabeth Ativie relinquished leadership to Justin Okonobo. That was, however, not to be. The lawmakers proceeded to deliberate on an oil spill in Esako East local government area.
It's a case of my people going hungry as we speak. My people, they can no longer drink water. My people, they can no longer go fishing. My people can no longer get their food from their farmland. Mr. Speaker, as I talk to you, almost all of them are on their way to Benin if care is not taken. The NNPC should, as a matter of urgency, send their technical team of engineers and experts, environmentalists, safety officers to this area to possibly barricade, trace, and repair the ruptured pipe to stop leakages.
This forms part of the resolution of this House. Please say ayes. Contrary say nay. The ayes have it.
Though the lawmakers declined press interviews on this matter, their body language in the House seems to suggest apparently that the current leadership of the House has come to stay, at least for now.
Well, that's all from Abuja, and Nwanwodo is standing by in Lagos to take you through business news.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Malkwe. Welcome to Business News. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, has announced plans to establish an office at the Ministry of Finance to manage whistleblowers. Well, according to her, this will protect the identity of persons who have information on cases of corruption. Speaking at a meeting organized by the Bureau of Public Service Reforms in Abuja, Mrs. Adeosun gave a breakdown of information forwarded through the whistleblower policy, with a promise that government will protect the identity of anyone who assists in the anti-graft war.
The volume of tips we've received and their quality has been far greater than we expected when we started this policy. And so for that, I'd like to congratulate all of you. We continue to receive information daily. Total number of tips through our various channels, web, text, phone call and walk-in, have now reached 5,000. Of that 5,000, 350 are actionable. Actionable means that we can take either disciplinary action or investigative action. The whistleblower policy is here to stay. It's permanent, and we are formalising the procedures for the whistleblower unit to be a fully fledged operation within the Ministry of Finance. And I hear you ask, why the Ministry of Finance? Again, from our experience, we found that people coming forward with information into places that they see as intimidating tended not to come forward. Asking people to go to EFCC or to the police or to the DSS was seen as intimidating. The beauty of our whistleblower unit is that it is in the building over the road. It is nondescript. When you walk in, nobody even needs to know that you're actually going to the whistleblower unit. That is part of protecting your identity and ensuring that people feel very comfortable in bringing the information forward. So we encourage you to continue to support the whistleblower programme and participate in building a civil service that we can all be proud of.
Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun. Now, the Director General of the Industrial Training Fund, Mr. Joseph Ari, has announced plans to take its National Industrial Skills Programme to 18 states yet to be captured in the scheme. At a meeting in Abuja, Mr. Ari said the program will provide an avenue for Nigerian youths to become self-reliant. On the part of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Economic Matters, Mr. Adeyemi Dikpeolu, government will continue to support such programs. Nigeria's equities market saw its second biggest drop in 2017 today as investors took advantage of the gains already recorded last week amid a strong appetite for stocks. BC Adebayo has the details.
Heavy profit taken by local and foreign investors dragged down the stock market in the second trading session, this time by a whopping 2.25%. The industrial sector recorded the highest drop of 4.15% from the sell-offs, which are also seen across all the counters of the NSE. The losses were attributed to 35 decliners, including Dangote Cement and GT Bank, but led in percentage value by small-cap industrial stock Morrison Industries. On the reverse, GlaxoSmithKline, Berger Paints and Golden Breweries emerged as the top three equities among 11 gainers. Tuesday's volume remained at almost the same level of over 300 million units sold on Monday in 5,285 deals, while Axis, Zenith Bank and UBA were the highest contributors to the turnover. And that's it on the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
And from the local equities market to global markets, where mixed performance dominated today's session as geopolitical tensions show signs of easing. Here's a snapshot of today's performance. With those numbers, we end business news for tonight. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. The rest of the news at 10 continues with Ijoma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. The Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki is unhappy about the stigma of human trafficking associated with his state. In response to this problem, a special task force has been inaugurated with a mandate to find ways of changing the narrative.
Clearly, we cannot, as Edo people, afford to be stigmatized and taunted anymore on the issue of trafficking. It's like trafficking is now synonymous with Edo State, and it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And as a government, we have decided to take the bull by the horn and take action ourselves. I received a letter from NAPTIP, which I thought was really, really annoying, telling me that what we're trying to do was unnecessary, that there was a federal organ or agency in place, that there's a federal law on anti-trafficking, and therefore we should adopt it and work with that. If all of those worked, why do we have a crisis? In Abuja, maybe Abuja does not understand the issue of trafficking the way we do. That it's become a social scourge for us, apart from the humiliation. So for us in Edo State, we have decided to work through using the constitutional provision to deal with this matter ourselves. It's not on the exclusive list. It's concurrent. So we will, with this committee, domesticate the national law on human trafficking, and we will prosecute. We'll have special courts in this town